Hi guys, sorry there was no video last week. I was out of town. I was hoping to do two videos this week. One on Tuesday and one today. Tuesday didn't happen, so it's just gonna be the one this week. And let's get to it. So today's video is part 3 of the Lowlights of Living with Autism. And I'm gonna start with a big thing, which is sensory issues. So I am oversensitive in sort of the big, like, we don't really have five senses. We have a lot more than that. Pain, pressure, heat, cold, for example, are all senses in addition to the five we're taught in school. But I'll start with the five we're taught in school. So I'm oversensitive, taste and smell. Taste, I'm a very picky eater. Everything tastes too strong. Everything has weird textures. And I smell things before other people. My mom calls me a German Shepherd. She's like, "How do you smell that? No one can smell that." Visually, I there's a fine line here. My brain is very good at details, so I'm very good at remembering a lot of details in an environment. But when there's too many things and it gets too cluttered, then I start missing all the details because there's just so much cluttered, and my brain, um I don't know. There's like a line between I can see all these details. Okay, now there's too many details. Now it's just visual clutter. You'll notice walls in places I live tend to be pretty bare, or a few small pictures. I like things visually simple. In terms of sound, I carry earplugs everywhere. I wear earplugs when I go to movies. I watch TV so low the rest of my family asks me how I can hear it. Um, in terms of touch, I mentioned textures in food. Clothes are a big thing. I can never buy clothes online because I have to feel everything before I can put it on. I have to cut tags out of everything. Certain textures I will not touch. I actually think velour, velvet, I think corduroy, I think those textures I would go as far as saying are revolting. The reason my hair is just long and plain, I don't like getting my hair cut. I don't want someone touching me. When someone touches me, 5 minutes later, I still feel like I'm being touched. And I don't really wear makeup because I've worn makeup as part of Halloween costumes as a child, and it's all I could feel all day was stuff caked on my face. So I've never tried makeup because it's just so unappealing to have stuff caked on my face all day. So I'm not hugely interested in it anyway. I'm not too girly anyway. But yeah, I've never worn makeup. So those are the ways in which I'm oversensitive. And undersensitivities, my big ones are proprioception is one of the two. Proprioception is how your body knows where it is in space. You may also, it gets interchanged with the term kinesthetic sense, if you want to Google it. Some sources use that as a different term, some use it interchangeably. But regardless of what you call it, this is the ability. This is why I can walk down the stairs without staring at my feet and thinking about walking. My brain knows where my feet are in space. However, my proprioceptors are under sensitive, so I don't get enough information from them. As a result, my movements can be sort of awkward. And the other sense I'm undersensitive is vestibular sense. The vestibular sense is in your middle ear, and it tells you which direction you're facing, up, down, sideways. And again, having not enough information coming in from there, that's another sensitivity in me. It affects my balance. I trip over my own feet. I'm clumsy. I'm awkward. I'm uncoordinated. And the way I compensate for these things, as long as I can remember, I've loved movement. Spinning on tire swings at playgrounds. As a child, I would literally just stand there and spin. Spinning office chairs. As an adult, I like to go on rides. And I know now that I seek out this movement because I'm trying to replace the input that my body is not receiving because of those undersensitivities. And yeah, so that basically covers. I have balance and coordination in my notes here, but basically I've just explained through proprioception and vestibular sense why my balance and coordination are poor because of that lack of information. But there's other reasons as well that my movements are off and that I look weird. One of those things is low muscle tone, called hypotonia. And hypotonia means my muscles in their resting state are not as taut as they should be. I lack core strength. I have a very weird gait. The way I walk is called gait. My posture is, they call it rolled shoulders, head forward. I don't know what this is, sorry. My posture is bad. As a result, I have flat feet, which cause pain, which are related to low muscle tone. I have pain throughout my neck and shoulders from my horrible posture. Um, and my gait is just it's not efficient, energy efficient. Walking definitely takes more out of me than I think other people. And I need to get into a good exercise program to work on this. So I have a list of goals right now, and that's one of those things, is to improve my gait and posture as much as I can. And autism also affects gross and fine motor control, which I don't think a lot of people realize. I've always had sloppy handwriting. I could never color inside the lines. The other kids could always draw better than me. And I wasn't diagnosed till I was 12, so I went through a lot of wondering, why can't I do this? Why does everyone else's look better? And same goes for gross motor control. Gross motor control means large movement. Fine motor control is like hand movements. And I can remember in gym, my ball never got near the hoop. My floor hockey stick never got anywhere near the puck. I couldn't run as fast as the other kids. And even as an adult, I can't do things you'd think an adult should be able to do. When I work with children, once they reach 9, 10 years old, their handwriting is better than mine. Their physical agility is usually better than mine. So big low light. And I just lost my train of thought. There was one more thing. Oh yes, spatial awareness. My spatial awareness is poor. Spatial awareness is basically knowing where your body is in relationship to an object. So I walk into things, I drop things. I mentioned being clumsy. And the clumsiness is multifaceted, and that's one of these aspects, is my poor spatial awareness. And that also affected me in math class. I never really got my head around things like algebra, trigonometry. Abstract concepts are hard for me, which is related to that poorly developed sense of spatial awareness. I have a hard time picturing the things in my head and working with the numbers. And I think that's probably about it. I can always come back if I have any more thoughts on Lowlights of Living with Autism. Sorry, I had a laptop. My legs were wiggling. I had laptops on my legs. So what I'm going to tell you now is my psychiatrist is trying to wean me off one of my medications, and the medication's in the benzodiazepine family, which I've heard can cause slurred speech. So it's going to be a number of months before I'm weaned off if it goes successfully. But I'm interested to see if my speech improves. So I'm telling everyone about this. So if you see my speech being less slurred, that would be amazing, because I don't know how much of this is low muscle tone. And how much of this is, if that side effect is real, what I've heard, that'll be very interesting to see. So that concludes the first half of my planned videos for my channel. And next week I'm going to get into the second half, which I'm going to have a lot of fun with, my autobiographical videos. I'm basically going to tell you my life story. I'll do an introduction at the beginning of my next video. I'm not going to ramble too much now. But yeah, I feel like telling the story of living with autism will give you an idea. And you'll learn about symptoms, you'll see how it affects me, and you'll just see how I am where I am at today. And then once those are done, I'll continue to update you as things happen in my life. So, thank you.